Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I hope you will be fine. This is New Oxford Modern English Book 2. Now come to the page number 74. Now first of all you have to write date and day on the top of the page. Today we are going to start unit number 9 and the title of the unit is Mangoes and Guavas. Mangoes and Guavas. Through the title, we are having an idea that the story is about mangoes and guavas. First of all, I'll explain the meanings of these words. And the very first word is groaned. Groaned. Made a deep sound of pain or sorrow. Made a deep sound of pain or sorrow. Groaned means made a deep sound showing great pain or unhappiness. Made a deep sound showing great pain or unhappiness. As you can see in this picture, this lady is groaning with pain. Next word is spring. Spring. The season of the year between winter and summer. Spring is the name of a season when flowers bloom and trees begin to grow and reproduce. Spring is the name of a season when flowers bloom and trees begin to grow and reproduce. And this is the beautiful picture of the spring season. Next word is telescope. Telescope, a device used to make objects appear closer so they can be looked at from far away. A device used to make objects appear closer so they can be looked at from far away. Telescope is an optical instrument for making distant objects appear larger and closer. Telescope is an optical instrument for making distant objects appear larger and closer. And this is the picture of a telescope. And the last word is twig. Twig, a thin branch of a tree or bush. A thin branch of a tree or bush. Twig is a small branch of a tree, usually without any leaves. Twig is a small branch of a tree, usually without any leaves, as you can see in this picture. In this story, there are 3 characters. The first character is Pervez, who was a young boy, and the second character is Snake. And the snake gave Pervez many gold coins and a twig. And the last character is Captain, who had a ship. Now let's start reading. And you must have to underline the difficult words. Once there was a young man called Pervez. He lived near the sea. One day he was sitting on a rock playing his flute. Flute is a tube-shaped musical instrument. Flute is a tube-shaped musical instrument. Next, suddenly he saw a beautiful green snake. Beautiful means pretty. It began to dance. After some time, the snake spoke to him. "Thank you for your music," she said, and she gave Pervez a gold coin. And the explanation of this paragraph is, Pervez was a young man, lived near the sea. One day he was sitting on a rock and playing his flute. Then suddenly a beautiful green female snake appeared and began to dance. She also said thank you to Pervez for the music and gave him a gold coin. Next paragraph is, Pervez was very happy. Every day he played his flute, and the beautiful snake danced and then gave him a gold coin. He left his little hut. He bought some land and built a new house. Every day Pervez played his flute and the snake danced. Then she gave him a gold coin, and Pervez became very rich and built a new house. Next paragraph is, when September came, the snake said, Pervez, I am going away for the winter. I shall come back next spring. And what is spring? The spring is the name of the season of the year between winter and summer. Now answer this question. What do you like, mangoes or guavas? Then winter came, and the snake told Pervez that she is going away for the winter and I will come back in spring. Because as you know that snakes disappear in winter because they can't survive in cold season. And she asked him that, what do you like, mangoes or guavas? Come to the next page. It's page number 75. Next, I like both, said Pervez with a smile. Then Pervez told her that he likes both mangoes and guavas. Next, here you are, said the snake, and she gave Pervez a twig. So twig is a thin branch of a tree or bush. A thin branch of a tree or bush. Plant this twig in your garden. One day it will give you mangoes and the next day guavas. Then the snake gave him a twig and she told him that plant this twig in your garden. One day it will give you mangoes and the next day it will give you guavas. Next paragraph is, so Pervez planted the twig and soon it grew into a fine tree. One morning the tree was full of mangoes. Pervez picked the mangoes and sold them to the town. When he got home, the tree was full of flowers again, and the next morning it was full of guavas. Finally, Pervez planted the twig, and very soon it grew into a tree. It was a magical tree because one day there were mangoes on the tree and the next day there were guavas. Next, every day Pervez sold his fruit. He became quite rich. One day a ship came into the harbor. The captain saw Pervez's tree through his telescope. Harbor means an area of the sea that is designed to provide shelter to ships or boats. And telescope is an optical instrument for making distant objects look larger and closer. Telescope is an optical instrument for making distant objects look larger and closer. One day a ship came into the harbor and the captain of the ship saw that tree through his telescope. Now turn to the next page. It's page number 76. Mangoes in December, he said to himself. What a fine tree! The following day he met Pervez and said, your mangoes are very fine. Pervez thought of a joke. They are not mangoes, he said, they are guavas. When the captain saw the tree, he said to himself that mangoes in December. And the other day he met Pervez and said, your mangoes are very fine. Pervez smiled and said, they are not mangoes, they are guavas. Mangoes, wrote the captain. If they are guavas, I shall give you my ship. Roared means made a loud sound. Now the captain replied loudly that they are mangoes. How can you say that they are guavas? If they are guavas, I shall give you my ship. Next, Perez took the captain to his garden. Guavas? Groaned the captain, I have lost my ship. Groaned means made a deep sound showing great pain or unhappiness. Made a deep sound showing great pain or unhappiness. Then they both went to the garden, and when the captain saw guavas on the tree, he made a deep sound of pain and said, "Oh no, I have lost my ship," because Perez was right. Next paragraph is, the next day Perez went to see the captain. The captain was looking sad. "Don't be sad," said Perez with a smile. And the next day Perez went to see the captain, and the captain was sitting in a sad mood because he thought that he has lost his ship. And Perez said to him that, "Don't be sad." Here is a question in the side box. Why do you think the captain got confused between the two fruits? Why do you think the captain got confused between the two fruits? And the answer is, the captain got confused because he had seen mangoes on the tree, and the next day they turned out to be guavas, and he didn't know that the tree was special. Come to the page number 77. Next and the last paragraph is, I shall not take your ship. I was playing a joke on you. He then told the captain all about the snake and the tree. Actually, Perez was very nice and honest man. He told to the captain that he will not take his ship. He was just kidding. And he narrated the entire story of snake and tree to the captain, and he became happy again. Here is another challenging question in the side box. How similar do mangoes and guavas look? Are there any other fruits that resemble them? And the answer is, mangoes and guavas don't look similar, but pears look similar to guavas. As you can see in this picture, guavas and pears look similar in shape and color. And the moral of the story is, we should always be honest, because honesty is the best policy. Next exercise is A. Comprehension. Answer the following questions. A. Why did the snake come to Perez? And the answer is, the snake came to Perez to hear the music and to dance. Question number B. How did the snake help Perez? And the answer is, the snake gave Perez a gold coin and then a twig. Question number C. Which fruit did Perez prefer? And the answer is, Perez liked both mangoes and guavas. Next question, number D. What happened when Perez planted the twig? And the answer is, when Perez planted the twig, it grew into a fine tree. Question number E. What did Perez do with the fruit? And the answer is, Perez sold the fruit in the town. Question number F. Why did the captain groan? And the answer is, the captain groaned because he had lost his ship. And the last question is, what kind of a person was Perez? And the answer is, Perez was a very kind person. He gave back the captain's ship. Come to the page number 78. Next question is part 2. What are the following things? You will find them in Perez's story. Number A is, an animal that looks like a long green rope. So can you guess what is this? Yes, this is a snake. Number B, a round yellow thing like a ball. So it can be a mango or it can be a guava. Number C, a place to live in. So this is a house. And number D, a thing for making music. So this is a flute. Working with words, part B. Match A and B below. So you have to match these sentences according to the story to complete the sentence. Let's start. Every day he played his flute. I'm going away for the winter. I am going to buy a house. I am going to the harbor today. I am going to sell mangoes. Part C, learning about language. Not, change the meaning of the following by adding not. You will have to change the verbs too. In sentence number A, B, C and E, you will have to change the verb of the sentence because these sentences are from past indefinite tense, and always remember that in simple sentences of past indefinite tense, second form of the verb will be used. But in negative sentences, first form of the verb will be used with did not. Number A is Pervez liked guavas. And in negative sentence, it will become Pervez did not like guavas. Number B, the captain looked through his telescope. And in negative sentence, it will become the captain did not look through his telescope. Number C, the beautiful snake gave him a coin. And the negative sentence is the beautiful snake did not give him a coin. Number D, the captain was very surprised. And the negative sentence will be the captain was not very surprised. Number E, Pervez played his flute. And the negative sentence is Pervez did not play his flute. And the last is I shall give you my ship. And the negative sentence will be I shall not give you my ship. Come to the next page. It's page number 79. Next is pronouns. Number 2, underline the pronouns in the passage given below. So what are pronouns? Pronouns are words used instead of noun. For example, he, she, it, I, we, they, you, etc. Let's read this passage. One day Pervez went to town. Pervez is a noun because this is the name of a person. Next, he wanted to sell mangoes. He is pronoun because in this sentence we use he instead of noun. That was Pervez and he is a pronoun. They were very good mangoes. They is pronoun. He gave the mangoes to an old woman. Again, he is a pronoun. She threw one mango away because it was bad. She and it both are pronouns. Then she gave the money to Pervez and he went home. She and he both are pronouns. He was very happy. He is a pronoun. Number D, listening and speaking. Number 1, say the pairs of words given below. Can you say by the sound of s. Which pair is the odd one out? We have to find out the pair of words which is odd one. Let's find it out. A. Mangoes and guavas. This is not odd. Bananas and pears. No. Number C. Grapes and apricots. Yes, this one is odd. Next, part 2. Which S sounds like Z? Which S sounds like S? So these are the words with S and Z sound. And you have to make separate list of the words with S sound and Z sound. So first is yes. Yes is with S sound. House, S. Vase, S. Bath, S. Most, S. Fuse, Z. Bus, S. Vases, Z. In British pronunciation, this word is vases, and in American pronunciation, this word is vases. Next, less, S. Flowers, Z. Some, S. Caps, S. Hotels, Z. Pens, Z. Those, Z. Carpets, S. Mazes, Z. News, Z. Toast, S. Busy, Z. Nose, Z. Toes, Z. Gas, S. And has, Z. That's it for today's class. Read this lesson at home. Take care. Allah Hafiz.